Welcome back, everybody. I'm once again Barrett Bryant, joined by the lovely Jesse Cervini, and our event is trucking along. We had a bit of a delay, of course, in the beginning,
Sure
but
did.
it just functioned as our lunch break, and now we just get to go round after round after round, and we've got another one lined up for our viewers, of course.
yeah.
And I think it's time to get some real battle of the seven-handers here on the stream, Jesse.
Sure is.
Yeah, we've got Jake Hyatt, I think, on Life Ymir versus, no, I was the other way, on Void Rodan versus TC Devartanian on Life Ymir. So we got aggro seven-hander versus what I would believe most people would say defensive seven-hander, but we've seen some Rodans really dish out some aggro, right?
Yeah.
And for everybody keeping track at home, of course, a lot of people in our event are playing for these coveted championship points to get their day 2 invites or day 1 invites. TC here at exactly 150 points. So he can lock in 50 more points at this event to get that day 2 invite, which a lot of people are looking for. And Jake over here has his day 1 invite, but needs quite a bit of them if he wants to get that day 2. But we are still in the kind of quote-unquote undefeated section of the tournament, where I believe these two players are X-0-1.
Yep. I think those are both XO. I think
Both are XO?
There's only 3 undefeateds currently.
Whoa. Yeah, you're right, actually. So both of these players are 2 of our only undefeateds. We have another player, of course, that is also 4-0 at this moment, but they're playing somebody else. But there are a lot of people here already with draws, so these last 3 rounds are really going to start mattering.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 people at 301.
Yeah, and that's not even including the ones below that are like 2-1-1 that could continue and get wins, of course. So we're going to have a really interesting last couple of rounds here, and it is anyone's game. But Jake here on the play, going first, going to get a solid build 3, go for that build 4, of course, which is nice with the zero diff. Even a bonus when build 5 going first is Rodan. You can't really ask for much more.
Can't ask for much more. I mean, Ymir's going to start doing Ymir things. We're going to pretty much go get an extra foundation off of Wow Pussycats card. We haven't seen him play it a lot in a while.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, Ymir kind of slid off. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. We definitely can actually kind of talk about that, of like this idea of Ymir kind of fell off after Worlds. Obviously, there was a rotation that occurred, and she lost access to things like new training method. But all in all, she is still a strong character, but like there are cards now in the format that slow her down because things like Unyielding Destruction exist, and that can reset the stage, and she very much needs to get to those 9 foundations to transform.
Yes, she really needs it at this point to push forward. There we go. Yeah, like Ymir is going to just like start but look at that build. We built 6 foundations and our free one. And our essentially free one with Ymir.
Yeah, and we love things like 3 diffs. We have the Meeting Hanj here for extra card draw. And, the Wild Pussycats, like you said, giving us more foundations that we can use. And if we find even cards like Desperate Plea that we know are very good for blocking with more foundations and getting them in our stage. But Jake on the play here, going to be able to be the first player to attack here. And we have that coveted, 100% repeated smash here, which basically functions as like a freebie, because even if you check poorly on it, you can ready up one of those foundations because we have at least 1 punch in our card pool. Going to go ahead and use that Rodan Enhance commit to look at the top 2 cards of our deck, put them in any order we'd like. And now we feel pretty confident about going forward with this attack turn, giving it 3 speed, of course, with Rodan. As we move on to Rejuvenating Smash, and we know what we're going to be checking here. On a 6, checks a 5. Second card of the turn means we're going to draw 2 and gain 2 life. Of course, we're at full, so.
Yep. Why not at this point? Let's take advantage of this situation. Let's value our cards. Let's increase our hand size as much as possible, and get this. Like, also, we're swinging in with one of those beautiful contender ones.
Yeah, absolutely we are. But of course, TC has his own copies of Rejuvenating Smash here, and we did already block with a military airship, so we also got to gain 2, draw 2, of course, still at full life. Fully blocking everything on the side for Jake. No damage done. We're going to build out a couple more afterwards. It looks to me, it's a Science Bros, and now also a military airship hitting the stage. And the question is, do you hold more? Is Ymir going to go for this kind of explosive turn 2, but not being close to 9 foundations just quite yet? I can only imagine it's maybe another setup turn.
Yeah, it's not like we're in new training methods era.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like it's like, oh, he can build one down, build one, just like, oh, I'm there.
And it makes a lot of sense, actually. We just saw TC not review either of these foundations because that's what we want. We want to be building these foundations. Immediately builds down that Wild Pussycats, does the form on the ability, gets a Desperate Plea, which is going to help us build even more defensively, lets us hold a couple more cards for blocking, and it feels pretty good.
Ooh, that's I know this foundation does. I can't remember the name. I never
Planned Coup, yeah. But, of course, that being our first card for the turn, as we already had the Wild Pussycats in our stage, now we get to build it down, and now we have this Rejuvenating Smash to draw even more cards off the top. So, essentially, we've started this turn basically as a 10-hander.
Yep. Yeah, we are off to the races here. We're like, yep, just block. I mean, right now, we're just kind of, with Ymir, we're kind of just poking away.
Yeah.
We're just like, hey, we're going to present a little bit. There's going to be that turn, like probably next turn. We're gonna flip. We're gonna shift over to our other side and have to transform, and then we're gonna try to win because that's what they have to do on that turn.
I also really like. I think TC's playing this perfectly. The fact we checked a 3, commit Ymir. We don't care too much about the extra offensive stats that we could have been given, but now with our committed character, things. Yeah, these resting ups that we have one in our stage, we're building a second one now, is really going to help us combat against the speed that Rodan does give. Yeah. So I love this play. You can definitely tell TC has been playing Ymir for a long time. We know that he has been. And so, having the finesse here to play a character like Ymir towards the end of this competitive year, and we know how, in full force characters like Ymir was at Worlds last year, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think like Tim Keefe was the top 4 with Ymir last year. Like, and it was just like Tim Keefe is like, if Tim Keefe's playing a character, you're like, what's going on over there?
I would for sure be keeping an eye on the character that Tim Keefe brings to Worlds, of course, but builds plenty of more foundations here for TC and still has plenty of cards to block with as we pass back to Jake playing World's Weakest Hunter as our lead in here. And if this one does connect, we're going to be drawing a ton of cards.
Yeah. I want to block this all day.
But it's so fast. 5-speed base.
I mean, we go... Let's see here. We go -3 here. Yep, we're going to block.
Yeah, we're going to get that -3.
And flip for -3. That's -6. That seems comfortable.
With the Science Bros, too, remember, that Jake did in a building, we are going to get an additional 1/1 every time we remove a card with Rodan, but we're going to go for that mid-block here with that Desperate Plea, and because we even have a Desperate Plea in our stage, we can build this one down to continuously keep our card pool clear to help us combat against all the speed that Rodan does give. Meeting next up, though, an Ice Sword execution coming in here, so if we have the option, we probably can tap down one of these Speed Hate cards to hopefully make this one land.
Best selection here is probably resting up
I think it's Fast Friendship, right? Because that's the flip one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fast Friendship is...
Because, resting up is -3 speed, right? But it's because it commits.
Yeah.
It's -2.
Oh,
you were right, though. That is the reusable one.
Yes.
Maybe you want to get that Fast Friendship use out of the way now. But we have to be a little careful, of course, because if we don't give enough speed still... As the Fast Friendship comes in here for -3 speed, we're getting the Rodan Enhance as well. Looking at the top 2, we can put them in any order. Saw some Pearl there. It might be like an Ascend to Battle or something.
Ascend to Battle. Count up all your speed. That card has... Man, I played that I've played that a lot, and it's so much. It's like, count my speed. I'm like, plus 16 damage. And you're just like... And you just have a way to protect that damage bonus. You're like, good luck.
Looks like we are going to put it on top.
Yep. Maybe we're gonna... We haven't given... I don't think we've given the speed yet. So, yep.
Yep, there it is. With the Unyielding, which also then gives us the 1/1. And the question now is, because we put it on top, we can play the response ability on Science Bros, commit it, and we could draw that card that we did put on top of our deck. Or are we just going to leave the bad check on top because we're going to build out afterwards? But here comes the block with the military airship from our hand from TC, and because we had that second Desperate Plea that we blocked the first attack with, we now have a military airship in our stage, as well as enough foundation to transform next turn. This is very much looking in favor for TC to have an incredible turn 3 offense. As we pass back, Armor-Clad Faith being built by Jake is the only real defensive foundation. Great card, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Can kill off any keyword on a move at response speed. So great for like echoed attacks or things like that, but of course TC not having a momentum. I think the only relevant ones we could kill off right now are things like
Throw.
stun is another
Yep.
great one if you want to keep your stage healthy. But a very, very strong card coming in from Guilty Gear. Passing back.
Yep. And looking at TC's hand here, we're not really looking at this, like, I want to say this aggressive hand.
Yeah.
It's not in the lines, but
We
I still would build a foundation. Do
you transform?
Yeah. Nope. We're just going to poke.
Jaw Jammer coming in here. Great throw, of course, and also you can blow up any of these, plentiful foundations we have. I think I actually like this as the lead because if the goal is that we're playing against a squishy seven-hander like Rodan, and we can anticipate the throw keyword getting removed here by that Armor-Clad Faith, we have the military airship that not only can you get a block out of Jake to still block this move, because you played it first, when you go to play your second move, we can pick it back up.
We also have, we can use the meeting Hanj and do our plan to, like, hey, do we need to go further this turn?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Do we have a way to find more cards quickly, more attacks? Like you said, it wasn't as super aggressive turn. And we still even have counterplay to things like Breaker because we're still on the front side of Ymir. We could play a foundation, weave in between before we even continue on with our turn. So again, I think TC really showing some masterful play here, as now we're going to go ahead, build down this vast strength. We have more than enough foundations to transform. And now the question is, how much life can we gain? Well, we haven't taken really any damage, so how are we going to get there?
Yep. We don't have a lot of those little burn one lines. It's going to be, like, almost this point, like, we want a Tetra Terra. Yep, here we go.
There it is. That's exactly what we found on the menu, right? And this one does have Echo, but with no momentum, and the armor had Clad Faith already flipped, of course. Don't have to worry about that particularly here. But this is a much scarier attack to pick up with your military airship as long as we play a third move afterwards.
I'm looking at Jake's hand here. We've got a Genkai's in hand, and it's like, this is he's got to think, like we saw at the Atlanta, we saw Phil Birch, like, do the Genkai's twice.
Yeah, live and breathe off of Genkai's, actually go down to 0 foundations because of Genkai's and just reestablish a board state trying to survive against these aggro decks. And so we know that that's such a meaningful piece to use. The question is, how many resources is it going to get out of us? Because we do only have 7 foundations on our stage, so it would eat up all 3 of these committed ones. Getting that meeting Hanj now in play, we're going to go ahead and pitch and draw.
And we picked up Dual Needle and... we picked up a lot.
I think regardless, it is ways to lose more life.
Yes.
Which means more life to be gained, which means the scaling damage of Ymir, all of a sudden, it takes 1 or 2 attacks to get things through. We've got a full block here, but with a very fast Tetra Terror, even with the minus speed, we have now had to commit all of the cards in our stage. And now as we lead in with this beautiful Dual Needle Lunge here, contender cards everywhere for both of these players.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss this one, Jesse, honestly, as this one is going to be rotating when we get our first set next year. Dual Needle Lunge, I think, has really made a full cycle journey of it being a premier ultra rare when League of Villains came out. We kind of fell out of the card after a couple years, and now coming full circle, still being played here in very powerful aggressive decks like Ymir, and we've seen it even in like Mikasa Hero's Hope.
Yeah. Yeah, when it looks like that, we're going to pick up the Tetra because we're just like, hey, I know where this is going.
Yeah, how many high blocks do you have as this one's connecting? Oh my goodness, we even are going to be following things up here with an ambush thrust, which is essentially more attacks.
Yep.
Because of the things like Dual Needle Lunge going straight to our momentum.
We could just, like, grab we could just keep going.
Like, we can keep going, and we have so many foundations to keep up this momentum and keep up this aggression, and as long as we keep paying this life, we can keep gaining it, and these attacks get even more deadlier, and we're saying, nope, I have to Genkai's that one because it's essentially 2 attacks.
Yep.
So that one's going to get removed, but there is still that Tetra Terror in the hand for TC that we know that he picked up already.
Yep.
We're going to go ahead and form with the Wild Wild Pussycats. Look at the top 3, and we can grab any of these foundations. Vast Strength, good choice.
Yep.
But we did get rid of a 6-check off the top of our deck. Tetra Terror here on a 6, checks a 5. And now we have this other attack. And now because we didn't pick up the momentum, we actually just instead have a momentum for this Echo.
Yep. And we're going to pick up some 4 diffs. Like, it's like, all right, I'll pay life. Keep going. Plus, it's so crazy with the Ymir. You're just like, gain life, gain life, gain life. Start counting up the numbers.
And this started, again, TC playing near basically perfect defense.
Yep.
All of the life that TC has lost has been because his cards do it, while still maintaining your full 23 life off of Ymir. And things are going to get scary very quickly, as now this Tetra Terror is not blocked. Go pick up that 4 diff or less, like you said. And so things like another Jaw Jammer that's going to have a tremendous amount of damage. As long as we can pass these checks, we're going to be able to echo this. It's going to get -1 difficulty as well, because we're playing from the echo, and it comes in with some bonus speed.
Yep. He's just like, game?
He's like, how much more do we have to go through? And Jake says, no more, please. I've had enough. Game 1, going to TC on Ymir.
Good job, TC. That was, like, seeing a Ymir play, especially looking at his list, like, is he playing Mists of Despair or not?
I don't actually know if he's not. I think a lot of the Ymir decks have kind of shied away from that one because, yes, it is a very high-impact continuous string, but as we've kind of seen TC and how he's played the deck so far, he doesn't mind going to the turn 3s, building a very wide stage.
Yep.
And you don't. I mean, if you have the wide stage, you can pass your checks. You don't have to make something count and ignore, of course. But as we go into the sideboard, the real question I have is, what do you think Jake has to do here going into the game 2? We were on the play.
Yeah.
And I think TC played that game near perfectly, defense-wise, sculpting for offense, getting and pushing through here. And that was Jake's game to essentially win going first. Even if Jake wins the second game, we now have to worry about the Ymir deck going first in the game 3. Yep. What do you think of the game plan is now?
Now, in this situation, I would be pushing in a... I don't know what direction you push in here. Like, maybe Jake just goes... Like, I don't think he sideboarded a card. I think, like, he didn't really do much. He's just kind of like, all right, I think I just got to get another... Like, I think he put extra Genkais in.
Makes sense. I mean, it
it
was the closest thing that we had to saving our life last game, right?
Yep.
I think the only thing I can imagine is, like, if going in the game that we're going first now, I think there's a real advantage to just doing our very best to have as many foundations into play without playing an attack card and giving TC the opportunity to do those defensive block tricks like with the Desperate Plea. He's going to have the partial mulligan here. He's going to be able to hopefully build 5, 6, maybe even 7 foundations as TC. And Rodan doesn't necessarily have the ability to do like a crazy amount of offense, especially when you can still block when you are playing all these high impact minus speed cards like TC is playing. But if you did 2 turns to build for your Rodan list, things like Ascend the Battle are a lot more on the table when it comes to your turn 3 offensive game plan, but you need the foundations to pass those checks.
Yep.
I think Science Bros helps a lot, giving the extra stats, giving the extra speed. But we need that kind of combination of like Science Bros plus incubatings to give more damage to our moves as well, so we can get away with playing less. But going to be going for this build 4 here, but we do fail that last one. The making preparations, I'm pretty sure, gets failed there. So only build 3, not the strongest start, of course.
We'll get our free build, play an airship. I love the aggressiveness of this deck playing airship. I think we're playing 2 or 3.
I mean, we know at least 2 because of what happened last game, right? We blocked with one, built it down. We blocked with the one prior to that. It's 4 military airship.
He's like,
list.
I need to find this card. It is the key. It is my plan. It's essentially a free echo.
Yeah, it's another Tetra Terror, right? Yeah. Or especially in this matchup, it is another copy of Jaw Jammer. And hey, what I said, build 6. I mean, it's build 7 if you count the 7th card being that airship, of course, which means we are very much on pace to do the same quick transform here for TC on turn 3 as Jake goes deep in the tank and thinks about playing things like Unyielding Destruction. But it looks like we're just going to try and build out a little bit more, which is what I asked for. Like, that's what I wanted.
Oh, yeah, the play here is definitely what's just... Oof.
We have risky play here. Of course, we see it all the time. Sometimes you need a couple more cards to build. Makes sense. Go for that Rejuvenating Smash play as the second attack to draw 2. But we checked a 3. Yep. And that's going to commit all but 1 card in our stage.
I mean, that's a line you got to accept it. Like, hey, sometimes you're not going to be able to, with these Rejuvenating Smashes, we're not going to be able to stop all of them. So we're going to go for the partial.
Yeah, just try and save yourself from damage. If you're TC, you feel very comfortable about there not being another attack that's going to get played here. So just take the half, but it's still a healthy amount of life that TC can gain later when we do transform into the Jaw Titan. And now it is very much up to Jake here to build a solid defense because TC could go for a poke next turn just to take advantage of the board state.
Yeah.
But obviously TC is going to be aiming to get to that 9 foundation count.
Yeah. He wants to be ready for the turn 3. He's like, hey, I got to just give enough of value here. Looks like we got some poke and play.
Yeah, I like that. We drew a Lethal Slash, which I think is a great thing where you can not only play your foundation, build it down with Ymir, now you have an empty card pool to play a Lethal Slash on a 4, and it's now your second or greater card, so it will remove itself and it will still draw you a card, as we're seeing that play happen right here. The foundation built down, of course, was another planned coup that we saw in Game 1. But we're going to get extra cards in hand, and it's going to clear the card pool, and it's just free reign for TC to kind of take advantage of, hey, how many high blocks do you have? Are you going to block this one because it removes itself? Like, what do you actually want to do? But, of course, it's one of the slowest moves of all time. Gets blocked here by that supersonic flight.
Yep. And it's gone.
Forever.
Forever. Now I'm going to think about he's thinking for a second here. TC's like, hey, what do I prioritize? So I keep coming?
Momentum's really big for this deck, right? Where if you don't find the dual needle lunges, it still is about, like, if you land a move, things like a jaw jammer, like a throw, that you can get into your momentum to help with the echoes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the only other move in our hand is a Tetra Terror. So if we give the opportunity of, like, hey, does Jake have another high block? But it looks like we're not going to risk it. We're just going to take this build 3 here. One of which being that meeting Hanj, which means we're going to help sculpt a little bit better if we go in on turn 3.
Perfectly fine. The best thing here we can look for is we just got to get through this turn, but the problem is there's unyielding destruction.
I think that is Jake's key here on staying in this match, not just this game, because this unyielding is only going to pop 2 foundations on the side of Jake. And so if TC doesn't have an answer to it, something like a Filled with Doubt, we are going to lose our ability to transform, period, next turn. It looks like it's going to resolve. So now TC has to make a difficult choice of not only losing foundations that he won't have, they're going to go to the discard pile, but he has to keep meaningful foundations that can help him stay alive in case there is a crazy offense that can come later from Jake, because although 4 foundations is not a lot, when you're Rodan, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, there's a military airship in play, Rodan can still play a couple moves and make them very fast.
Like, we might just go this, a 4-diff, pick up the unyielding. I'm like, hey, you have no chance of ever getting to 9 on your build.
I like that idea, but it does, get a little scary if things like Filled with Doubt come into play, or we've seen the vast strengths already in the deck, right? There are ways, of course, that TC can answer it, but going to reset the stage down to 4, and we still have to deal with this move.
+3 speed, not bad. We'll go in for 5 mid for 6 here.
It does help because one of the biggest weaknesses of this card is the 2 mid, right?
Yeah.
And then Rodan does very much help get that through. We're going to be able to look at the top 2, of course.
We're like, all right, swap, go.
Looks good. Great mid block. Also love the block ability on this one of Wild Pussycats. If it had Echo, you'd be able to get rid of it. Checking the 3 here, though. Not what TC's looking for, but he's going to be able to commit Ymir and keep that resting up in play. But it's usually still not enough to block something like this World's Weakest Hunter. Again, 5 base speed. It's very fast.
Yes. Yep, we're going to pick back up unyielding. He's like, hey, if you go build too much next turn, I'm just going to stop you.
Yeah, I think, that's exactly what you talked about, right? Yep. And so having that in your hand forces TC to find some sort of answer. Also getting the enhance off of the Supersonic Sim Flight in our stage. It gives +2, +3, and then makes it a high. Yep. And then because now it's the top card of our discard pile, Rodan can remove it from 4 speed and still draw us a card.
Yep.
-3 speed from the resting up coming through here, but now we have the Rodan enhance. It's still an 8 mid for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Very high block here, but TC can't build that airship anyway, so just getting the chump block as an extra review makes sense, as TC's going to take that 6 and go down to 13, I think. Or, sorry, 14. We were at 12.
Yep. And now we just build out. Like, we have this is all in Jake's favor right now.
Yeah, Aaron's sidestep is a great one to get back on the board. Second incubating, I think, is also huge.
Photons.
Double photons. Wow, yeah, build 4 afterwards, essentially doubling the size of your stage after the reset. And now TC is in a scarier position. The scariest one he's been in all match.
Yep.
having to restabilize. And I would say that like the way that this deck is very much structured and plays, a lot of those foundations we're looking for happen at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So things like this, Wow Pussycats, are really going to help him out on finding more foundations to build. Looking at the top 3, only one option here. 2 more repeated smashes, having to go to rejuvenating smash. Sorry, going to the discard pile, as we only pick up a surprising skill.
Yep. I think we just got to he's like counting up his discard.
That's all 4 rejuvenating smashes. I saw them right there.
There's right there. Hello.
I think we're counting attacks. Like, hey, how quickly am I entering a game state where I need to cycle?
Yep.
But Jawjammer's still going to come in here, checking the 3 on it. But you're actually okay with that if you want to blow up this face down for some extra damage. No throw hate specifically on the stage for Jake right now. No armor-clad face. No Mikasa defeats the female Titans that we can see. And so instead, we are going to press this meeting Hanj here, pitching another military and an attack. We are looking for foundations. We need to build our stage out if we ever want to transform this game.
Yep. We're pretty much here's the thing is, on Jake's side, we're putting him back to like, hey, you got to go back down to 4 and find more foundations. You have that same draw power.
Yeah, we do have the completely blocked for this, of course. It is still a throw, so it's going to deal some damage. But the Aaron sidestep says we get to draw a bonus card here on defense.
Oh, he drew 3.
Wow.
I love when a plan coup goes off with the full, like, blocked, all right, draw 3.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. And I think that's exactly what TC's looking for. But remember, you keep bringing it up, and I keep forgetting about it as I literally say, oh, what a great position for TC. But there's that unyielding destruction still in play. If you don't find the vast strength here, and I think that's what we've been digging for, you don't have an answer to it. And if you take too long to find the answer, that military airship on the side of Jake's will be ready to go again, not next turn, but the turn after, which means if that's the turn you have vast strength to stop the unyielding, if we somehow live that long, they can just pick it back up and try again.
Yep. So right now for TC, he's just like, hey, I got to put something, I got to put a build out, and
there's the vast strength.
Yep. You want to just go to 8. I think you just go to 8.
And then use Ymir, go back to 9. I think it's very smart.
You also, you also have you have a plea for a build block.
Takes our momentum, which is nice. Again, it helps us with some echoes later. But now Jake has the ability to play that unyielding destruction again to slow down the pace. But like you said, with a very slow move like that 2 mid. But instead, maybe Jake just smells blood in the water, and he thinks he can close out this game by just playing a real attack string as Rodan.
Yeah. I think he has Descend into Battle in hand.
Ooh, that'll help. Yeah, that can definitely close out a game.
Especially when there's no moment of normalcy to stare across that. You're just like, oh, this is just coming in.
Minus speed coming in here, of course, with the resting up, with Ymir committed as TC committed after we've already used the form.
We'll see what we can do here.
And I think that's all the speed we can give it now. I think we are, because I think we only gave it a little bit. The lethal slash block isn't too bad, and because of the desperate plea, we can still build it face down. But do we think that was a little early? Because Jake still has the option to play that unyielding as the second move, or instead, this rejuvenating smash to gain 2, draw 2.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather just let the gain 2, draw 2 happen, and then dealing with the situation of draw 3.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, you're right. That makes a lot of sense. This also has EX, and we have 2 momentum. Like, there's a world where we can very much put TC in lethal range from any one move. If we EX to this, or decide to give it a little bit more speed. And I think the best thing about unyielding, of course, is you don't have to play it as the first move. There is still a world on the table where if Jake doesn't have just enough to get through here, he could play it as the 3rd, 4th move and still reset the board state.
That's the old, I like to call that the old start over play.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you had start over and infiltrate, and they were like not first forms. I would go like, oh, I'm going to blow up the board. All right, I'll build 4 foundations past him.
Here it is. Yeah, unyielding going on a 7 and checking a 3 on it. But all of the foundations you commit to pass the check can just be part of the ones that you choose to blow up.
Mm-hmm. Now TC's got to go back to 4.
Yeah, got to go back down. We don't have that vast strength in our stage. And also TC has to consider if he wants to keep his relevant face-up foundations 2 of them are committed, so we'd have to sacrifice some of these ready foundations if you want the relevant card text. So tough decision here, and still TC has to deal with this move, and if there's a way to maybe cheat some progressive or give plus to our check in some capacity, there's just a world where we could just still die on the next turn or following later.
Yeah, like you could see TC when he saw it happen. He's like, he's not gonna play this, and he just like literally stopped his fist on the table a little bit, and I'm like, yep, it's coming.
I mean, this is a great way to get Jake back into this match. You know, as we're gonna go here for the partial block with the number 10 pro hero, we have to tap completely out for it, but saves us a little bit of life. And we go down to 11. Jake still at the full 21 as we just build a couple more foundations. Checks to 4.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, the Science Bros on a 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Check to 4 to tap our 2, 5, 6, and then doesn't quite get that last one as we pass back only with the Science Bros ready. But you gotta feel pretty safe. And I did spot it. That draw 2 from that Rejuvenating Smash on why I think Jake felt comfortable with that play. We have a Barrier Shield in hand. We do have good block trip answers if TC decides to put on a little bit of offense, but we're going for the first cycle here on TC side. We've burned through this entire deck.
Yeah. So the one thing I see here for TC is if he barriers, especially early in the chain, we could just airship.
Yeah, absolutely. You can abort the attack.
I have done that so many times. You're just like, I'm just gonna pick the spec up.
Their next card will still get the breaker, but
the speed reduction.
It does stop that speed reduction happening from right there, and you would basically only be relying on what Rodan could provide. So I do like that play. It is smart, but I think if you're TC, you're still in this situation of like, if I ever want to win this game, do I have to flip? Moment of Normalcy is a good one.
That's a good one. I think that's something like out of all of the foundations, like Vast Strength and that were like the ones like, hey, we need these now.
Yeah, we did end up drawing that Vast Strength, so we can feel a little bit better about surviving against that unyielding at least for one more time. Of course, there could be another copy in Jake's deck. We could find a second one. We could find this military airship that we talked about is going to be ready next turn. You could just play the same one twice. It is still a scary situation if you're in TC's world, and he's figuring out like, what can I build? What can I block with? If you're just going to play another one anyway, is the Vast Strength going to keep me alive on board, or is it going to keep me alive in hand?
It's going to build to here. I think you just once again get to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 9.
Go to 9. Like, go. Let's just like, hey, I don't think you got another one. I don't think you drew another one.
It would require.
He's playing 3 of them. Like, he is playing 3 unyielding.
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Oh, you're right. I forgot I had it pulled up. Getting that review of that Barrier Shield makes sense if we're kind of trying to go for the game here. We want attack cards that we can play, not necessarily action cards that kind of clog our hand. I think we did draw a second one. I'm not too sure. I think it's for sure a Rejuvenating Smash plus Unyielding.
Yep.
But I think, if you can just get a little bit of damage through, leading with the Unyielding isn't bad, especially now we have the Science Bros plus double incubating in our stage, which basically says
+1 damage
every time we press that incubating enhance, because the 1/1, the 1 speed will balance out the -1 that it actually gets.
Yep.
So these are going to be even quicker, which means, and for a little bit more damage, so that Moment of Normalcy couldn't have come at a better time for TC.
Yeah, like this, TC's going to do what he can here.
We did use the Vast Strength, of course, so only had to use the 1, but we could, there's even in the same counterplay that we talked about with the Barrier Shield and picking it back up, you could just military your own Unyielding right now after TC spends enough resources defensively.
Yeah. I don't want this is one of those ones where it's like, I'm gonna block this, but if I get a pass from him, I'm gonna pass. I'm like, I need to block.
I think getting the block out, especially when TC checks a 3 here, right? Like you make him feel a little more scared, but keeping the 4 foundations up means that you have a clean amount to destroy if this play does end up happening. But with the Rejuvenating Smash coming in once again as a second card, and we Rodan peeked at it, so we knew what it was going to be, and immediately that first enhance is going to be that military airship to pick up the Unyielding. Yep. TC's got to think about, how do we get out of this game?
This might be a situation where we're going to be hitting, because like right now we're +1/+3 essentially on every attack.
And that's not including the whatever Rodan hits from the top card of the discard pile, right? Which with the incubatings, you can set it up 3 cards deep if you want to. I love the way the character plays, man, and the cards and the tools that are incorporated about this character that you would normally think is a random part of the game. But there are so many tools to help you set up and get exactly what you want, and that's not even including things like Supersonic Flight, which give you even extra cookies.
Yep.
Look at this 8 mid for 9 right now, and that's without even pressing things like EX on it.
Yep.
So you have to be afraid. Yeah. So like if this moment of normalcy comes through, does an EX just come through?
Yeah.
If you reset the speed, so do you just reset the damage because you're accepting I can't block this one?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna take 6 straight to the face, and TC has to accept that. And even
that
still,
hand is filled
with attack cards. Yeah. It's going to connect, knocking TC down to 3. I don't even know. 5? Okay. Down to 5. TC has 3 readied foundations. No more speed hate. The Ice Sword execution on here, I would normally say this is a great one because there's a double copy on the opponent's side of the stage. But Surprising Skill cannot be committed. So you will only be saying, you have to say Meeting Hanj. But if we play this ability to commit it, you can respond with both Surprising Skill, and all of a sudden TC might have enough cards ready in his stage because he could ready the Moment of Normalcy, he could ready the Resting up, and all of a sudden he could have some real speed hate. So I think Jake just not playing the Enhance is the correct call here.
Yep.
Even going to get a freeze here, give +5 damage if we want to use the bottom Enhance on that Ice Sword execution.
So good.
I love this card. I wish more people played it, man.
Yeah.
It even has Order, and I feel like there are more Order gamers more recently than I remember. I think Guilty Gear has kind of helped that a little bit. People think like Kai Kiske is a little more interesting looking. I know Nago. I know people are kind of liking that one as well. So, but of course, you really only see this a lot in these Void Rodan lists right now.
It's like we are going to filter out. So they're going to send these attacks flying. We're like, hey, we need blocks. I need something that can, if I set up a block for this. And
yeah, doing the math, and it looks like that's going to be it. Game 2, incredible play here from Jake Hyatt, taking us to Game 3 and a match.
Yeah, this is a situation. DC's going to go first again, and
yeah,
he has to try to flip on 2, I think.
I don't even think you can do that anymore, man. Like, I don't disagree with you, but you're right. We aren't in the new training method world anymore of Ymir. There are ways to do, like...
We need a Pussycats?
Yes.
We go build, play Pussycats, build, or no.
Find another foundation. The most you can build is 8, which is a way to do it. That is a crazy turn 1 hand going first.
No. Well, turn 1, we can't build down going first.
Oh, you're right. Can't even do that. So, I mean, even then you can't do that. So, in my Christmas land, because I do like this idea, I want to talk about this for the people. In Life Ymir, you are allowed to play things like Hunter's Ally, which can help you do a turn 2 flip. That's not what TC's doing here. TC is doing the tried and true, this is just my current version of TC, or of Ymir after things like new training method have rotated. And it has to accept the fact that when you go first, it is actually impossible for you to flip on turn 2.
Yep.
But you are allowed to play some pretty strong pressure cards like Dual Needle Lunge, challenge your opponent to have the right block zones, give yourself some room to lose some of your life so that when you flip on turn 3, it is explosive. So I don't think it's necessarily bad per se, but TC needs a good build to function on this game 1. And on the other side, if that ends up going the way for TC, Jake is going to have to play incredible defense and find the right cards to stay in this game.
TC's really considering keeping this.
It's what the build for.
It's
a one-some airship.
Yeah, I don't.
Partial coming in from Jake, and I think TC's gonna. Yeah, I think he's gonna keep it, man.
Yep. He's like, all right, this is
slow and steady.
Do not check a 2.
Yeah, we do play those. Yep. Okay, and then now this is for free on a 1, 2, and a 3.
All right.
Builds them down safely. We get that military airship, and we check 1, so we don't want to see those for the rest of the game, right? Unless we're going to block with them. as we pass back to Jake, who has the opportunity. Double incubating is huge. I even think that hacker extraordinaire is massive.
Yep. Because we're ready to we'll take 5 at some point.
Yeah, Red Right's the coolest. Very good one here as well. Keeping areas safe. Nice. So build 5 from Jake, and double incubating I think is actually massive. And the top card of our discard pile from that last check is a supersonic flight. So we have even more cards to play with on defense.
Yeah. We should definitely get rid of one of these attacks.
He's thinking about the jaw jammer.
I think that's the...
It's got throw, though. Like, getting a little bit of damage on the board, getting a momentum, I think, is pretty big. But regardless, we have to find more foundations, so that review makes a lot of sense. Going to get this meeting Hanj built down from our form ability, having the 4 foundations to play with.
And draw 2 more.
Yeah, and the second card here on a 5.
Just a 4 and 5. Easy.
Ymir, yeah, easy one. We see this all the time. That means any copies of Resting Up, like the one we just drew, are going to feel really nice when we build them and they commit for -3 speed.
This are also the thing. It's going to be a situation where TC is trying to pressure. Like, we're like this. We're just filtering more.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go filter out more stuff out of my hand. One of them being a Lethal Slash. I'm like, I need foundations. I want you to put on. You are playing this. Like, you understand this. Like, this Rodan deck is thick. There is.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not going to win the mill out game.
No. But also, even though they're not playing the mill out game, they're playing the line of we have this. They have to find a card, one of 3 cards in a 70+ card deck.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, can you find it? Can you look through, do the peek around?
Yeah, I think if you're TC, you have to play the game as if Jake won't find Unyielding Destruction quick enough.
Yep.
And even if he did, I love TC aggressively trying to find things like the Vast Strengths.
Yeah.
Because I think that is the way for TC to close this match out, and even connecting a little bit of damage here with that half block coming through. But not finding the Vast Strength means that we're just going to have to build out like the good old-fashioned way. As we are now, this will put us to the 8th foundation. Got to commit a couple for that one. Going for the 9th.
Yep. He's just like, I'm going in.
Build him down. He said, I have to play the game as if Jake will not find Unyielding Destruction in this exact moment.
He didn't. I don't think he has it.
And it looks like he didn't get it. Now, that doesn't mean he can't find it.
He has one. Sorry, he had one.
He does have one.
I just saw the. I'm like, oh, he didn't draw it. He already had it.
So do you immediately slam it? And that is the play, Unyielding Destruction. And TC not too happy about it, obviously, as that was the key to success for Jake to win Game 2.
Yep.
And now with TC going first here, the good news here, this is the silver lining if you're a TC fan or you're rooting for Ymir. There's not a military airship on Jake's side of the board, so we can't pick this up.
He's got another one, though.
He does have another
one.
But we can find an answer.
Yes.
We can find the Vast Strength
Yep.
that, is all of a sudden in a game or a match that I thought was very one-sided is really coming down to the back and forth. Like, this is a aggro deck that has to build a stage out, gives enough time for Jake to find the answers, but TC can find the answers and find even more cards to interact with those answers.
What 2 are we gonna do? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, gonna get that block through. Gonna help us have at least 5 foundations, which feels really nice when you are playing against the Unyielding, of course. And then now the world's weakest hunter coming through on a 5 that checks the 3.
Back-to-back 3s.
Yeah, and we knew that was there, right? We used Rodan.
Yeah. Yeah. You are.
Maybe it was double 3s. And we had to play this one to draw the other 3 on the top.
Yep.
But you are staring at essentially -6 speed if TC chooses to use it.
Yep. He has all attacks.
Oh, no. Well, we need to build a stage out.
5.
Supersonic on a 5? Oh, okay.
Okay, we have. I think that's it.
Making preparations. And that's all we now have as we bank the 2 momentum. TC at 15 on Ymir cannot flip over, cannot transform. And he needs foundations, or he needs to find a way to push through the rest of this 18 life when Rodan feels like they're vulnerable, because the only real defensive piece on the board is a ready to incubating, and of course the tenacious ability on Rodan.
Yeah, we're gonna get Pussycats on the board.
Nice.
That'll help. Let's go find another foundation.
Top 3. Fast strength. That's it. Immediately. He knows that is the key for his stage to stay safe here.
Yep.
And that's it. He feels more comfortable now to build out. And plus the +1 card in hand, of course.
Yep.
Feels a lot better. I think Desperate Plea I see. counting our foundations. Don't want to lose to any weird deadlock, of course. I did see try gravity beam in this list, so you don't want to
Stun 3.
run into something like that. Planned coup once again coming in here for a very strong defensive thing. And there's that desperate plea. Although it is on a 4 and we did check a 2.
Yeah, we got some face downs. Let's use them.
Build 4 pass. Setting our stage up to 10 plus the military airship ready to go. If Jake doesn't have a way to deal with the vast strength and then play the thing like the unyielding, but again, we're in this situation where Jake has cards like Ice Sword Execution. He could find a way to commit it, but then you have to deal with the surprising skill that could ready the card if you commit it down. So again, it's just this crazy back and forth of like, this is currently not enough for Jake to keep it down, as we immediately get the response here from the surprising skill, and now Jake has to answer the question once again.
Yeah, and right now we're looking 5-5. We're gonna. Oh, look at that. That's a good play. Like, hey, we need to dig.
You're also, I think, if you're TC, like if you find more vast strengths, you can block with them and build them down with Desperate Plea to have even more of these answers. Or again, just more cards to give minus speed. Here's another fast friendship coming in.
Yep. It's like we gotta block this.
You know what's also crazy, Jesse? That this Rodan list is playing 4 copies of Ice Sword Execution. I don't think I've seen someone play 4 copies of Ice Sword Execution since Andrew Porat at the St. Louis Regional last year playing in Rodan. I don't think I've seen some, and I don't even know if that's true. Like, don't quote me on that, but that's how long I think it's been since somebody has played 4 copies of Ice Sword Execution in a deck.
I think it's hilarious that Andrew Porat just won the first 2 events of the year and
then cashed out.
And literally has just been like his feet have been up and he's just relaxed. He's like, and at Worlds he's just gonna roll in and be like, well,
that's how I do it.
Yeah,
you proved your that you have the skill. We found it. The vast strength block here, so that even if you had the only downside here is that this is again really good. Now you can use 1 vast strength if something like a second Ice Sword came through. Yep. You can seal that one and still have 1 to protect it, because the downside is that there's the second Ice Sword Execution here on a 5/6, and if you don't vast strength this, you lose both of them.
Yep, you got to do it.
But because we built the second one, we're allowed to use 1.
Yep.
I'm loving this game. I think this is actually way more intricate than I thought it was going to be. But I'm so excited here because I really do think this is anyone's game still.
Yep. Now we're gonna supersonic flight here.
Give it +2, +3, and make it a high. I think there's a world here where Jake can just start pushing for lethal. We're checking incredibly well because Rodan, the next 2 cards are, of course, going to be a little crazy, but we have momentum for this other enhance on this card. +5 damage and freezing one of these foundations if we don't end up making it through. Of course, Rodan giving +4 more speed because of the supersonic flight. This one could potentially hit incredibly hard.
Yeah, right now we're at 8. Like, I would play I would use the momentum and try to lethal.
Even making preparations gives more damage. When you give it a speed bonus, you can then commit it for +3 more damage, doing our greatest heroic lineage impersonation. Yep. But that little bit of extra damage is enough for even this 1 attack, right? It's 5. It has +3 because of the supersonic flight.
It's like,
we're not even gonna press the spin of momentum. Maybe we're gonna value it instead for an EX or a powerful ability here that could come in. Have connected. TC is at 4.
Yeah, there is a lot. I think he says all gas. I think Jake just has a pile of attacks.
So what do you do here? Is it repeated because it's on a 5, 6, 7, but you
ready 1?
Ready 1 foundation. That's a risk. I mean, we checked a 5. It's tap 2, but then you'll ready 1. Can this just get quick enough? Yeah, I think TC's doing some math here because we have Fast Friendship and Resting Up for -6 speed, has 4 ready cards still in the stage, or do you just have to use the other Vast Strength to stop the ready ability on the card, but it would keep its keyword abilities? Vast Strength does not remove the keyword abilities.
He's like, hey, you get the keyword this.
But you don't get to ready a foundation. Plus speed here off of the Genkai's Guidance, -3 speed from the Fast Friendship. How many more resources do you press EX on this? It is lethal on its own, but it could be partialed.
Yep. I think you double EX and then you
just see.
Yeah, like, hey, I would double EX. And he's like, hey, you got it. You got
just send it. Going here for the ambush strike block.
5
ambush thrust, sorry, which is a mid block. It is a partial.
Yep.
But because it's only 5 base damage, it is going to leave TC at 1. Try Gravity Beam. 4, 5, 6, 7. Misses the check. fails it, and the turn goes back to TC at 1 life.
Oh my god. And the problem is now we have to, like, come on, find
5, 6, 7, 8 foundations in the stage. 1 foundation with the form ability of Ymir would transform him. We could potentially gain 22 life this turn, Jesse, where a single move off of Ymir, even with perfect blocks occurring, could potentially be lethal immediately against Rodan. There's the transformation. We're coming in hot with a Tetra Terror. Although we check a 3 on it, we have momentum already for this Echo ability. We are challenging right off the bat. Jake, you have to have 2 high blocks or deal with this Echo ability. And all of a sudden, TC has a way to win this game.
We have the attack, the Echo. We have multiple instances of line here.
I think the hardest part about this is that TC was at 1. You can't pay the lose 3 life on the first one, and unless we gain a 2 more, you can't pay the cost on the Echo. It doesn't actually give you more moves, but it is 2 moves.
So we'll go draw 1.
Yeah, off the planned coup, it is draw 1, and it's a good one. It was a rejuvenating smash, but if you want to play that second, you can't echo the Tetra Terror.
So we are gonna see so we hit 1, so we get to draw 1 card, and then we cycle.
So the draw was our last card.
Yes.
So
we other plan coup. We started another plan coup.
Oh, we played a second one. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So we've milled 1, and it was not,
it was a non-attack.
Okay, not attack. I'll pull up planned coup for the people at home.
This is a card not many people play.
No, they're definitely not. And even TC here is only playing 2 copies of it. But like you said, like turning a foundation in your stage after attack hits, you can potentially draw for every non-attack that you mill that way.
We hit 3 cards. We drew 2.
Drew 2, yeah. One of this being this lethal slash. So we have a ton of cards at the cost of cards in our stage, and TC has to find a way to get through this defense. Obviously, the first Tetra Terra did land, I think is what happened, as now Rodan is at 13. We are going to pay the Echo cost here, and it will be cheaper. It's on a 4. It checks. It comes with that extra 2 speed plus the 2 from Ymir. And then, again, every time we go to an enhance, Ymir gets to go, I'll gain a life. Give it more damage. Gain a life. Give it more damage over and over and over again. And if you didn't block the first one, well, the second one is even scarier. But again, you can't pay the 3 life on the ability of the Tetra Terror. So after this, it's just going to be more attacks that are raw in TC's hand. But I think, based off of the game state, based off the board state, I think he's got enough. Rodan taking it. Going down to...
And it flips over because it was...
Yeah, the Echo will flip it over. George has got us covered there, of course. Rejuvenating Smash here on a 6. Checks a 3. It's not the second card, so we won't gain 2, draw 2, but it does have EX.
And this is where... The thing is the hacker flipped the airship. And that's a tough situation now. It's like, okay, we have to just push...
Yeah, we got an EX here. EX3. Do we have something like a barrier shield? Do we have some way to get out of this? Incubating, -1 more speed as we go to 5 mid.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
We are down to the wire with 8 minutes left in this round, and a rejuvenating smash block is huge. Sadly, it's not our second card that we've played this turn. And then a jaw jammer coming in here. 4, 5, 6. Checks another 3. But this alone is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage after the gaining the life from Ymir. 11. Half of 11, though, is only 6, and Rodan is at 7. Blocking this is still staying alive.
This is great. This is getting crazy.
We need 1 more move from TC, basically.
He's like, all right, something's going to get blown up.
And we keep checking 3s. There is just a world where on a 4, 5, 6, 7, if you don't check a 5, you fail a 4 diff. Do we have a second rejuvenating smash? I think that would be nuts if we were Jake and we block with that. Nope, just a mid block, which is fine. Taking that. Jake going to 1 life himself. The battle of 1 health. Even though TC, do we have another move?
Don't
We don't have another move. With 2 ready foundations in our stage, all of a sudden, we were at the top of this roller coaster. Jake knocked TC down to 1 life. Jake survives just enough defense because of knocking TC to 1 life. He couldn't pay the costs off of either of those Tetra Terrors, allowed Jake to just tank them to the face, actually block the meaningful moves later that were for a lot more damage, survives at 1, and now it is on Jake to have an answer to win and close this game out as TC is only at 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
That's a
one.
good start.
Another Ice Sword execution here on a 5. And if you don't Vast Strength this one, you are going to lose 2 of your Speed Hate pieces. But we do have this surprising skill, which could ready one of them back. But you still stunned 1, essentially, and it was a meaningful piece.
Yeah. And the Jaw Titan here is holding ground, I guess. It's like we're just like, okay.
You can't even, unless we play a block, we can't even commit our character. So the resting ups only give -2 speed right now, which makes it even tougher. Still have cards like Incubating to mess around with the cards on our discard pile so that we can get a little.
We have our, doesn't your Ymir, doesn't the Jaw Titan have like a minus effect?
Yes, we do. We have the commit ability, which we are going to use here as well. But, it's more of our minus speed that we can't now use later.
Yeah.
We're having to spend it all on the first move of the turn because of how much speed Rodan gives. But, yeah, we are going to make our resting ups live, of course, and still get some value out of it. And with a 1 high block, essentially on a 5, and we checked a 4, so we're going to have to turn 1 more card sideways. 3, Ready Foundations. Unyielding Destruction here on a 5/6. The good news is that TC doesn't really need the foundations anymore. You can see the smile on him. He's like, I don't really need them anymore. But do I actually want us to reset here? I think this is still going to help Jake get what he wants, which is getting more foundations off of the board here for TC, for Jake to play 1 more move.
No, he's like, nope,
there's no point. If you want to press the button, press the button.
No response. All right. Here's all these face downs.
Yeah, and Jake's like, well, here's mine.
Yep.
Now you have to make a choice. You're only going to be able to keep one of these committed ones, and it will just be the readied resting up. Rest goes straight to the bin, and now we have to still deal with this as the Supersonic Flight being removed here for +4 speed draws us a new card. Now this 5 mid for 6 is still scary territory that TC has to deal with. Do we even have a mid block? -3 speed here from the resting up. 2 mid for 6, 1 card in the pool, 2 cards in hand. You are allowed to partial this. It's not lethal on half, but with 2 ready foundations on the side of TC, 4 ready foundations on the side of Jake, any attack can still maybe solidify this game, unless that Vast Strength will significantly save you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the battle of the undefeateds, and I don't think we could have gotten a better game. Getting the full block here with the Wild Pussycats. And he says, please don't have 1 more. And even if you do, it can't be something that's so fast that my Vast Strength won't save me.
I think it's...
If it's just a Cinda Battle, the base damage on a Cinda Battle is nothing.
Yeah.
Which means the Vast Strength would win against it. I think we're in another situation where Jake doesn't have the kill.
Oh, my God.
Build 2, pass back. Can TC close this out on 5 health, but only 4 foundations against full readied stage on the side of Jake? Draws up for hand.
We got a Rejuve.
I thought it was a Jawjammer.
We have and a Jawjammer. We have 2.
But we have an answer to it. We have an Armor Clad, which can kill off throw. That would normally kill Jake here.
Yep.
But because we built an answer to it, the only choice TC has is Jawjammer into Rejuve Smash,
EX for the
EX it, and then draw 2 more cards and pray, right?
Yep.
But there is speed hate on the side of Jake. Jake still has momentum. He has this Hacker Extraordinaire that can draw him a new card. He has even, I didn't even realize, we also built Mikasa defeats the Female Titan. That's another answer to something like Jawjammer.
Oh my God.
TC is struggling. We didn't draw enough attacks. Is this even worth going in on? Can we just play strong defense?
Yep. He's thinking about it. I think we go build it. I think we just go play this and we go this Rejuve and see what happens.
You would risk the Rejuve on the 6 and maybe you check a 3?
Would at this point.
Okay. What are the 3 cards you commit if you check a 3?
The resting ups and that. Like this is a hey, I have to take my shot.
Okay.
Like we need to use protection here. It's like, hey, I need to play through and get my Like, I have to eat through this throw hate. Or find something that gets me through it.
Getting down to the wire.
Yeah,
Both of these players, single-digit health. 1.5 minutes left in it. They do, of course, still have turns that I do think we will find a winner, but immediately we leads with the Jaw Jammer and checks a 2 on it. Ooh. I didn't even remember those.
Yep.
Having to commit 2 foundations right off the get-go. Now this makes the rejuvenating smash play even harder. Commits Ymir. The damage, that makes sense, but like it is life gain. Like I think you kind of want that. Yeah. So yeah, going to take that back and just commit this resting up. And we are immediately going to start pressing some buttons, gain some more life, which I think matters. You know, the more life that Ymir can keep gaining, yes, it's more damage. Jake can't take anything anyway. Like,
yep. Look at all that momentum he has. All those attacks are stuck up there.
One giant EX move is just enough, right? One repeated smash of his EX and powerful could get us there because, again, Vast Strength can't answer keywords, but that's just not where we're at right now.
Yep.
Going to go ahead, though. I think that we hacker, and then we also are now minus speeding.
Yep.
Also double incubating here, removing these attack cards, having a +4 block modifier from this hacker, and the full block on a 5/6, checks a 5, has to commit 1. The gain 2, draw 2 means that this will be pushed up even higher for damage.
Yep.
Will we draw more gas?
We did.
We drew one more.
One more.
But it is that ambush thrust, which means if we want another attack, we can't EX this.
Yeah.
It does still have the +2. That basically is going to get counteracted by the incubatings on the other side of the board.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Jake still has to play perfect defense here, right?
Yep.
I mean, we are not allowed to take any damage. We are at 1. And we blocked with a +4 block modifier as our first lead-in.
It's just great.
It's hard. I mean, this is a hard game for either of these players.
Yeah. And the thing is, TC's just climbing out of it.
Yeah, we're at turn 0, of course, for TC, which we knew was going to happen. So that was going to happen regardless. So we're on turn 0. TC did go second. So that's...
Yes.
This is it. So it is on TC to basically figure it out.
Yep. +3, -3.
There it is. We did EX it, which means this ambush thrust is just another attack. It is not 2 attacks, per se. The Science Bros +1 block, though. +1, right? Or something like that. +1 or 2. Means we're going to have to commit a couple.
6.
Ambush thrust here on a 4, 5, 6. Checks the 5. Taps the last foundation here. And just asks the question, do you have a playable block? Because we do have Mikasa's. Any block works.
Yep.
Can we give this enough speed for it to matter? I don't think we can. There is another ability on Ambush Thrust, of course.
I think it's a damage.
Yeah, it is. You can destroy a foundation if they have 4 more committed. You can give it more damage, which we're not really looking for that.
We're just like, do you have the right...
Well, it's any block, right? We have the Mikasa defeats.
It's a mid.
Is
like,
is it too high of a block mod, right?
Yeah.
Or is it a non-block? That'd be funny. But yeah, we're gonna go here, block with the Fateful Decision, checks a 5, and it is a full block as TC doesn't have enough
we're gonna get a draw.
gas.
We're gonna draw.
Yeah. Unless I'm unaware of any sort of time extension, which I don't believe they have, with the overtime being called here for these players, that is gonna spell it.
Yeah. He's like, I've been thinking what he'd be hoping for here. Like, why does... Yeah.
Production is going to go check it out. They might have just been off on the time, which is fine too. I don't actually know if that's true. We're going to go figure it out real quick. If not, it will end in a draw.
Yep.
If we are incorrect on the time, there will be some sort of attempt here from Jake to figure it out, and he could potentially get the win here. TC TC did go first. I totally forgot. Chad's blowing me up for sure, dude. Chad is blowing me up for sure. You're right. TC did go first this game. That's why it was so dynamic, right? Because we knew TC wasn't going to be able to flip on 2. We had to go to 3. We had to play around all these unyieldings. So this is Jake's last attempt here to win the game. No, I was wrong. I was all on me for sure. And as we only built 2 foundations here for TC after the fact, flipping for -3 speed is going to help us block this. But if we have any more gas, and I see that rejuvenating smash, and it has EX, I can only imagine. But remember, we do have to find 10 now. We are no longer at 1.
Yep. And we have. Oh wow.
So many moves, and we get to look at the top 4. We did check pretty poorly on this attack, obviously, as our lead-in. So we have to find a way to draw all those cards off the top.
Mm-hmm.
But if this one connects, which it looks like with our 1 high block, checking a 3, tap completely out for that full block here.
All right.
Means it is just up to Jake to find 10.
That's.
Rejuve on a 6. Checks a 5. Commit 1 for 6. Draw 2. Gain 2. No longer at 1. That doesn't matter.
Yep.
And the question is, with that 3 on top of our deck, can we pass another move? If it's a...
So...
We can, right?
Yeah. I mean, so this is...
Oh,
We're gonna draw...
the Supersonic Flight incubating. It does give -1 speed, though, but we have plenty. We get that last... It is up to the top card of the deck.
Yep.
No matter what move we play, if there is a 3, Jake will miss. If it is not a 3, the game ends in Jake's favor. We are purely on the top card of our deck. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. EX on this one, but this one is only for 3 damage.
DC goes to 1.
Did we miss lethal? 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. What am I missing a damage somewhere?
No, we go to 4.
Go to 4.
This is 3.
This is only for 3.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to risk it. We didn't have the and just like that, we didn't play a 5 diff. We could have, and instead the draw. Both of these players moving on to X01. What are we at? 401 at the end of round 5.
I wonder if there's an undefeated at this point. Is there maybe one undefeated?
There was one that was paired down.
Yep.
If they won their round, then we have exactly one purely undefeated. But if they lost the down pair, you are now in a situation where there are 3 players that could be all tied with the same score at this point, and we still have 2 rounds to go. But that being said, we went to full time, so
they're waiting on us.
No, yeah, they're waiting on us. So we are going to cut away real quick. We've got some stuff for you guys to check out. So don't go anywhere, as we still have 2 more rounds for the Buffalo Regional coming for you all soon.
See you soon.
Hi, UniVersus.